everyone, welcome to Pilates. My name's Jo. So before we start today, just make sure you're feeling fit and well. Listen to your own body as we go through. If anything doesn't feel right, then don't do it. It's entirely up to you to listen to your own body. You know it better than I do. So you don't need any equipment, but you might want to use your yoga mat and a Pilates block if you've got one, or a cushion, entirely up to you. Okay, so we're just going to go through our alignment before we start. So I want you to think about sitting up nice and tall. So you can sit cross-legged, you can sit on a cushion, you can sit on your ankles, whatever feels best for you. So you want to find a position in which you can keep your pelvis in its neutral position. So imagine it's full of water and you want to make sure that water's going to be level. So we're not tipping back or forwards, we're keeping lifted. So feel free to use your block or your cushion if you need to. Just find a comfortable position for yourself. So from here, I want you to imagine you've got a balloon on top of your head. So you're going to lift you up nice and tall, so you're creating some length through your spine. Once you've found that, I want you to bring your hands onto the outside of your rib cage. So you're going to take an inhale through your nose. As you do, think about expanding into the side of your rib cage. So you inhale, and then we're going to exhale through our mouths. So inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. So this is our lateral breathing. Keep going with this one. So inhale into the outside of your rib cage, really feel the expansion here, and then exhaling through your mouth. One more time. So try and keep that Pilates breath going through the class. I will remind you as we go through. So relax your arms down to wherever feels comfortable. So still staying in that nice lengthened position. I want you to imagine you've got a belt that's a little bit too tight, and you've also got a sling of muscle between your legs. I want you to squeeze up and in as tightly as you can. So really squeeze, make sure you're still breathing. From here, I want you to release to about halfway, and then a little bit more, and then completely. Let's do this again. Squeeze all the way in. So squeeze up and in as tightly as you can. Again, make sure you're still breathing. Release it to halfway, and then a little bit more, and then completely. Let's do it one more time. Squeeze all the way in. So you're lifting and squeezing. Release it to halfway, and then to about 30%. So at that position, you should feel like you can feel it contracting, but you're not having to squeeze really tight to maintain it. So if I start talking about engaging your core, that's what it should feel like. So you're not trying to hold it all the way through, but if I'm just going to keep reminding you to engage when we need to. Okay, from there, relax your arms down to wherever they feel comfortable, slot your shoulders down and away from your ears. Create that length through your spine. Take an inhale through your nose. As you exhale through your mouth, you're going to turn your head to one side. Inhale as you bring it back to the centre, and then exhale as you take it across the other way. So work with your own breathing here. So inhale centre, exhale as you turn. So still think about that balloon on top of your head, lifting you up nice and tall. And we're not forcing anything here, so just keep it nice and gentle. So your shoulders are staying still, it's just our head that's turning. Let's do one more to each side. So inhale centre, exhale turn. When you finish your last one, bring your head back to the centre. Okay, from here, draw your chin in slightly. We're going to inhale as you draw your shoulders up and towards your ears, and then exhale as you roll them back and down. So you inhale, draw them up towards your ears and forwards. Exhale, draw them back and down. So nice big shoulder rolls. Inhale up, exhale back and down. So keep working with your breathing here. So your first option is to stay with your arms down. Second option, you can bring your hands onto your shoulders and circle with your elbows. Just do whichever one feels best for you. So inhaling up, exhaling back and down. So I'm going to stick with this version here. So as we go through with all of these, if I give you an option, doesn't mean you have to do it. You need to choose an option that you can do well that you find challenging. There's no point in doing a level that's too hard and not doing it very well. You're not going to get the benefit from it. Okay, let's do one more here. So inhaling up, exhaling back and down. Excellent. Okay, so from here, bring your hands together, your palms together, and tuck your thumbs into your chest here. So making sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. If this starts to get a little bit uncomfortable, feel free to change your seated position. So slot your shoulders away from your ears and lift your elbows slightly. You're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to rotate to one side, keeping your nose in line with your fingertips. Inhale as you come back to the centre, and then exhale as you go the other way. So notice I'm not taking my hands or my head further than each other. So your nose needs to stay in line with your fingertips the whole time. So you're feeling the twist into your thoracic spine, so in the middle of your spine here. So exhale, twist. Inhale back to the centre. Just keep it nice and small, like so we're not forcing anything. Let's do one more each way. So exhale as you rotate. Inhale as you come back to centre. And then bring it back to the centre here. Okay, relax your arms down. So as I say, feel free to adjust your seating position if you need to. Lengthen your spine, bring one hand down to the floor. In fact, both hands down on each side, draw your shoulders down and away from your ears. I want you to imagine you've got your back against a wall, so we're not going to lean forwards or backwards here, we're going to stay upright. So take an inhale, as you exhale, you're going to lean across to one side. Inhale back to the centre. And then exhale as you take it the other way. So you should feel a nice stretch at the side of your body. So you exhale, take it away. Inhale back to the centre. So keep your bum muscles or your bum on the floor. So we're not lifting here, so hips are staying down. If you want to, you can slide your hand first and then bring the other arm up and over. Just keep working with your breathing. So it's exhale as you slide and lift that arm over. Inhale as you come back to the centre. Just keep checking that you're keeping your bum on the floor. And then let's do another 2 on each side. So it's exhale as you go across, reach up and over if you want to. Remember, if it doesn't feel good, stick with the first version. Make this your last one. And then bring it back to the centre. Okay, so grab yourself a drink at any point with these ones. We're going to start working our way down to the mat. Okay, so bend your knees, feet are on the floor, and you're going to sit up nice and tall. From here, we're just going to do this really nice and slowly. So you might want to start by holding onto the back of your knees. Inhale in this top position. As you exhale, tip your pelvis back like you're trying to pour the water out of the back. And then inhale as you sit back up. So exhale, tip your pelvis. And then inhale, sit back up. So you're going to gradually make this bigger and bigger. So you're going to tip your pelvis first, and then round into your spine and into your shoulders. And then back up. So don't worry too much if you get the breathing wrong here, but if you can, you're going to exhale as you round back. And then inhale as you sit back up. So once you start to feel a bit more warmed up, you can take your hands away so you can bring them forwards here. Let's exhale, touch your pelvis, round your spine. And then inhale as you come back up. So just working with your breathing here. If you need to take extra breaths, just take them. So we're going to do another 4. In that time you can either stay at the top level here, or you can start to work a bit further down each time. Just bear in mind this is still your warm up, so don't go too mad just yet. So keep breathing, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. So when you get to your last one, you're going to roll yourself all the way down onto the floor, nice and slowly. And then give your knees a little hug. So feel free to have a little rock side to side if you want to. So remember, grab yourself a drink at any point. And then when you're ready, you're going to lower one leg and then the other. Okay, so from here, you want to have your feet hip width apart. If you're not sure, bring your feet together, take them out to like 10 and 2 on the clock, so like that, and then level your heels up and actually get them underneath your hips. From there, you want to draw your feet as close to your bum as you can, or as feels comfortable, and rest your arms down by your side. Feel free, if you find that your head is tipping back quite a long way here, you might want to put a cushion or something underneath your head. You're just trying to make sure you keep your spine nice and lined up. Okay, so draw your shoulders away from your ears. Take an inhale through your nose. As you exhale, I want you to tip your pelvis back so that your spine flattens onto the floor. And then inhale as you release. So it's exhale, tip your pelvis back so your spine flattens onto the floor. And then inhale as you release it. So like trying to pull the water out of the back of your pelvis. And then tipping the other way. So just keep it really gentle. Exhale back. Inhale, release. So it might be that this feels really nice and you just want to stay here. That's absolutely fine. You just choose your level. If you want to, we're going to start building this up a little bit. So you'll exhale, tip your pelvis back, and then lift your hips about an inch off the floor. Inhale as you pause, and then exhale as you roll it down nice and slowly. Same again. Exhale, tip your pelvis back, flatten your spine, and then lift your hips maybe a couple of inches this time. Inhale as you pause in that position, and then exhale as you roll it down nice and slowly. So feel free to build this up a little bit further each time. If you find a level that feels like enough, then you're going to stay there. So it's inhale as you pause, exhale as you roll back down. So I want you to keep going with this one while I just talk you through a few points. So exhale and tip back and lift. So you keep working with your breathing. It's inhale, pause. Have a little check on what your knees are doing. So we don't want them dropping in or out. They're going to stay in line. If it feels like it is dropping, feel free to grab your block or your cushion and put it between your knees. So you've got something to make sure they're staying in position. So if you're going for the full version here, at the very top of the move, you should have a straight line between your knees and your shoulders. Squeeze your bum nice and tightly as you inhale and exhale as you roll back down nice and slowly. Keep working with this one. So I want you to imagine that your spine is like a chain and you're trying to lift up one link at a time. And then as you go back down, you're lowering one link at a time. So keep it really controlled. We're not just lifting and lowering. We're peeling our spine up and then lowering it back down. So keep working with your breathing still. So you're inhaling, exhaling to lift, inhaling to pause in whichever position you're stopping in, and then exhaling as you bring it down nice and slowly. So if you want to make this one a little bit more challenging, you can try crossing your arms over your chest as you're doing it. It'll just test your balance a little bit. So it's exhale up, inhale pause, exhale roll it down nice and slowly. So you should feel that curve in your spine as you're lowering it down onto the floor. So in your own time, I want you to do 3 more. So exhaling up, inhaling to pause, exhaling back down. If you feel like it's starting to cramp in the back of your legs, just walk your feet a little bit further away. So we're still checking on those knees, making sure they're not dropping in or out, and really squeezing your glutes at the top of the move. Whenever you finish your 3rd one, curl your knees into your chest, have a little rock side to side, and grab yourself a drink if you want one. Okay, now when you're ready, you're going to roll over onto one side. If you're on quite hard floor, feel free to put your cushion underneath your hip or roll your mat up slightly if you want to. So you can also use a cushion for your head if that feels comfortable, or you can just use your arm to rest down on. So again, check on your spine position. If you find that your head is sort of dropped like this, you need to find something to lift it so it's in line with the rest of your spine. So use your mat as a guide. You want to be an equal distance all the way along, so we're not bent in half or anything here. You're laying out. So if you want to check, have a little look down, you should be able to see your feet. So you've got the option here to bend this bottom knee, and it'll just help a little bit with your balance. The more challenging option is to keep it straight. So I want you to stack your hips on top of each other, so we're not rocking backwards or forwards, they're stacked directly on top of each other. Same with shoulders, so shoulders on top of each other, so we're not rounding here. I would suggest starting with your hand, just like resting in front of you. Create some length through your spine, engage your tummy muscles, and think about lifting your lower waist off the floor. So you're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to float this top leg into the air. And then inhale as you bring it back down. So it's exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. So we're not necessarily going for height here. You're just trying to keep your upper body in alignment. So if you go too high, you're going to have to dip your hips here, which we don't want. So it's exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. So I'm going to talk you through a few different options here. Remember what we said at the start, so you need to pick a level that feels best for you. Just because I've shown you a harder level does not mean that you should do it. Okay, so your first option is to bring your hand onto your side and test your balance a little bit more. So really engage your tummy muscles and lift up on your pelvic floor as we did at the start. Keep checking that you're not rocking backwards or forwards. So another option, either with your hand in front or on your side, you lift the top leg, then lift the bottom leg to join it, and then bring both down together. So it's lift, lift, and lower. So you just choose whichever level feels best for you. So I'm going to stick with the second one. So it's exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Remember, if you're finding you're wobbling quite a lot, just bend that bottom knee and it'll help you with your balance. So still working with your breathing, so exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Make sure you've got your neck in line as well, so we're not crunching down here, we're not watching our legs. You're keeping your neck in line with your back. So hopefully you should start to feel it working around here now. Let's do another 4 here, so nice and slowly still, so exhale, lift, inhale, lower. So none of this should be rushed, we want to be nice and slow. Again, have a little check on your hips, make sure you're not rocking backwards or forwards. Do one more. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Give your knees a little hug. Hips will rub if they need it. And then we're going to do the other side, so feel free to just roll over. Just twist around and rock my back to you. So again, you want to line yourself up along your mat. Use your cushion for your head if you want to. Just make sure it's in line with your back. Have a little look down, make sure you can see your toes. Then stack your hips, stack your shoulders, engage your tummy muscles so you're lifting your lower waist slightly. Hand in front if you want it. And then we're going to exhale as we lift the leg. Inhale as we bring it back down. So it's exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So remember, we're not going for height again here. So he's lifting and lowering. You find a position that feels comfortable. If it feels better to do it a little bit lower, that's absolutely fine. Remember, you've also got the option to bend that bottom knee if you feel a little bit wobbly. You might find that one side is slightly harder than the other. It's completely normal. So exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower. Keep working on engaging your tummy muscles and lifting up slightly on your pelvic floor. So remember your options here. You can bring your hand onto your side, or you can add in the bottom leg. So you lift the top leg, then the bottom leg, and then lower them both down together. So the key for this one is not to lift your top leg too high. We don't want it up here, you're never going to get your other leg up there. So just a little lift, then the bottom one joins and both come down together. If you are doing that one, just check that you're not tensing up too much in your upper body. So if you feel like you're not doing the level very well, go to the one below it. You're better off doing a lower level well rather than a higher level badly. Still working with your breathing. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So keep remembering, shoulders down away from your ears, tummy and pelvic floor are engaged, and you're working with your breathing. So keep checking that you're not rolling back here. You want to stay stacked. Let's do another 2. So it's exhaling as you lift, inhale as you lower. Last one. When you're finished, hug your knees in, give your hips a little rub. Okay, and then when you're ready, roll over onto your back. Okay, so I want you to find your neutral spine. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So bring your feet onto the floor, hip width apart like we were in our shoulder bridges. So what I want you to do is tip your pelvis back as much as you can, and then arch it the other way. So you're tipping your pelvis back to flatten your spine, and then inhaling as you're rounding it here. You're gradually then going to make this smaller and smaller. So we're trying to find the halfway point in between those two positions. So when you find it, you should have a natural curve in your spine, but perhaps not enough that you get your hands underneath. So from there, I want you to take hold of the sort of knobbly bits on the front of your hips. So what we're trying to do is make sure that they stay level, so we're not dropping side to side. They're going to stay in that position and our spine's in neutral. So feel free to use your cushion for your head if you need it. Engage your tummy muscle and your pelvic floor. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to slide your right heel away from you along the mat. And then inhale as you draw it back in. Alternate sides. So this time left foot, exhale, push it away. Inhale as you bring it back in. So just go as far as you feel comfortable. So if you go too far in your back arches, you need to be able to maintain it. So you need to take your leg not quite as far away. So exhale away, inhale back in. So keep checking that your spine is not changing position. So there's no arching going on, and our pelvis is staying nice and level. So exhale, slide it away. Inhale, draw it back in. So work with your own breathing, just alternating sides, and one leg and then the other. So you should hopefully start to feel your abdominal muscles working. Okay, so I would suggest most people would want to stay at this level. If you want to, bring your arms up. And we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg. So extend your arm back as you slide your heel away, really engaging your tummy muscles and making sure you're still breathing. So exhale to take them away. Inhale as you bring them back in. If you're doing this and it makes your spine lift, you need to drop down a level. So make sure your spine is staying in that neutral position and working with your breathing. So let's go for another 3 on each side. Remember, you've got the option to just stick with the legs rather than the arms as well. That's absolutely fine. So keep breathing, keep engaging your tummy muscles and lifting up on the pelvic floor. So our heel stays touching the floor the whole time, we're sliding. If you finish your 3 for me, just take a little breather. So exhale away, inhale back in. So last one here. When you're done, hug your knees into your chest. Have a little rock side to side if you want it. So we're going to do a little bit of twisting to finish up. So bring your feet back down on the floor. This time you're going to have your ankles touching and your toes touching. If you've got the space, you're going to take your arms out to the side into a T shape. If you're a bit limited for space, have your arms bent, or you can have them down by the side here, whichever feels best. So you're going to find as you twist that one foot's going to lift off the floor. So you're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to take both knees over to one side. Keep your shoulders on the floor. Inhale as you bring them back to the centre. And then exhale as you take them the other way. So shoulders are not lifting, rib cage is staying in that same position. So just go as far as you can control it, or as far as feels comfortable. Then exhale across. Inhale back to the centre. So we're still using our abdominal muscles here. So option here, if you want it, is you can tip your head in the opposite direction, so you're looking away from your knees. So exhale as you take them across. Inhale as you bring them back to centre. So you're keeping your knees and your ankles together, so you'll find that one foot lifts off the floor. Exhale across. Inhale to centre. Just keep checking that your shoulders are staying down. So the back of your shoulders and your rib cage is staying in that same position. Let's go for 2 more to each side. So exhaling across. Use your tummy muscles as you inhale to bring them back in. Last one each side. Okay, and then one each to finish. Give your knees one last hug in. Okay, so however you need to do it, you're going to bring yourself into a seated position. So you could rock yourself up, or you can roll over to one side and bring yourself up using your hands. Okay, so again, find yourself a comfortable seated position. So legs out if you want to, tucked underneath you, whatever feels best. Okay, so from here, we're just going to do a couple of shoulder stretches, just in case you've been sat at desk for a long time. So I want you to take your hands behind you, take an inhale. As you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Feel free to tilt back slightly if you want to and extend your spine. Just take some breaths here. You're really squeezing the back of your shoulders to open out your chest. Let's do 2 more breaths here. So inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Okay, bring yourself back into your upright position. You can take one arm across your body, hook the other arm up and draw it towards you. So we're not pulling on your elbow, you're holding above or below, and draw it towards you until you feel stretch in that shoulder. So still sitting up nice and tall here. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through your mouth. When you're ready, switch sides, so draw the other arm across your body and then hook the arm up and draw it towards you. So you should feel a nice stretch into your shoulder. So we're not forcing it, just go wherever feels comfortable and just check that you're not pulling on your elbow. One more breath here. And relax your arms down to wherever they feel comfortable. Just give your shoulders a little roll. And then release any tension out of your neck. Sit nice and tall. And you're done. Thank you very much.